Okay, so we're at Albury Park Hotel. We just finished a press conference where it's go time. The 13th of December, Matchroom Fight Pass with Goodwin Promotions. I'm joined by Ryan Crashbang Taylor and his trainer Frank Greaves. So we just finished a press conference, Ryan. Just tell us a little bit about how your preparation for this fight's gone so far.
I've given myself a long training camp, and now I'm doing it around work as well. I've given myself a long training camp with Frank because I had a bit of time out of the sport, resting, living life, and I had to do it the right way, bring my weight down a bit, and I've stepped up weight at the same time. So I've just adjusted myself around training and around making weight with Frank, who's a great trainer down the Peacock. So.
What difference has it made? Obviously, the weight is an issue. We've talked about the weight beforehand, about how you felt before it was you was taking too much out of you. What differences have you and Frank made coming into this camp to make sure this is the right weight for you? Bearing in mind just stepping up in weight.
Well, it's I can actually concentrate on improving myself as a fighter rather than just rather than it being a weight loss camp. That's all it was before. In the end, about losing weight. Now it's about tactics, game plans. Improvements, adjustments, things like that.
So Frank, that's one of the things. Sometimes if you've got a boxer that's got to lose a lot of weight, most of your camp can be spent in just trying to bring weight down. You're not actually learning anything in particular. Is that what you've had with Ryan this time? You've got a chance to actually work on certain aspects?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Ryan for 6-7 years now. And obviously doing lightweight must have been taking something out of him. So it's the beauty is he's been in and around the Sims gym, learnt a lot from a lot of fighters that had to make a lot of weight, and he's now a year older. He's learnt a lot himself. He's able to apply those things with a little bit of help from me, a little bit of input, and do it right, do it in a way that suits him rather than killing himself to do it. So, it's always nice to be able to work with someone who's not focused on weight. We ain't got to worry about it. As Ryan said, we're just working on what he's going to do in the fight, getting his head right, just working on a few little bits and pieces. No one's going to tell this man how to throw a right hand. His technique's good. It's just a case of getting the right balances between work and life, and the same thing in the gym between being crash bang and using your skills a little bit. So, yeah, I think it's working well so far. I'm looking forward to the fight.
So you're both based out at the Peacocks. You've got a growing little stable there. Just tell us, either or whoever wants to answer it, the fighters you've got there and obviously who you're bringing along. Because obviously, like I say, you are starting to grow, Frank. Your reputation as a trainer is growing year on year on year. You are one of the busiest trainers going up and down the country with cuts and things like that, and people don't realise that about you. Just tell us a little bit about your camp and where you are at Peacocks.
Well, obviously, I cut my teeth working with my brother Johnny, who boxed literally week in, week out, up and down the country, boxed everyone and anyone. It's always, for me, as a trainer, that was a great learning tool because I've seen all the styles, done countless rounds in corners and had to deal with cuts, and there's nothing really that I haven't seen from being in the away corner. I think one of the good things is, from training fighters that have to be available week in, week out, you actually learn to read when they're tired, when they need a day off, which I genuinely believe there's a lot of fighters that box in home corners that get overtrained. They come, they leave it all in the gym, and there is that fine balance. I think where I've cut my teeth, obviously, being in the away corner. Ended up getting some journeymen, I don't like using the word, but fighting for titles, i.e. Dan Naylor, who was unlucky not to win a couple of times. At the moment, obviously, Ryan aside, I'm working with Sam Stokes, who's just made his pro debut. He's fighting again this weekend. And Richard Alton, who's just made a comeback after a few years. I would fully expect Richard to box at some point for an area title, possibly in English, maybe more. Other than that, it's obviously I'm doing my own little thing as well. And, yeah, things are good. Things are busy.
So just bringing it in, sorry, Ryan, just cut you out. Obviously, you're a professional boxer yourself now, Frank. You've got your pro debut coming up. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Something that I decided to do at the turn of the year. As I say, I worked with a lot of journeymen. I had a few retirements, a few injuries all at the same time. I'd always been mucking around doing a bit of sparring with them and, started to get in reasonable shape. As I had a couple of retirements, I started doing more and more. I thought, do you know what, before I get too old, why not? Why not? I'm good enough. So, it's a box ticking exercise. It'll be nice to...
This guy can fight. Trust me, he can fight. I've tested him out. And he's now testing me. It's a great spot. He can fight, believe me. And you can only respect him because he wants to know what he says to fighters in that corner, whether he can carry it out himself now. And I can only respect that. And yeah, he can fight. He fight next week. So.
we wish you the best of luck for that, Frank. Hope you go. So, Ryan, obviously you mentioned in the press conference that you're qualified at other things. Obviously, you've got a full-time job as well. Just tell us a little bit about what you do outside of the boxing ring.
I am a quantity surveyor for one of the London Underground stations, big redevelopment. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I've gone back to that line of work, and I'm just juggling the two together now.
So, do we think we've got the best of Ryan Taylor to see yet?
December the 13th, we'll see. Yeah, you can do all the talking you want. You've got to do it in the ring, I suppose. So.
All right, so tickets still available. If people want to get hold of you, Ryan, how do people get hold of you? Facebook, Twitter?
Yep, I'm on Twitter. I think it's at Ryan Crashbang. I mean, I was looking for Crashbang Taylor, but Frank took it for some reason. And by that stage, I'd got Ryan Crashbang and developed 3,000 Twitter followers and couldn't then transfer. So that is what it is. Twitter, yeah. You know what I mean? A lot of my friends got my number and that. I'd just like to say thank you to Archway Services and Adam Mortlocks and Mortlocks Waste Disposal Company for their sponsorship.
All right, well, look, we look forward to your return. I think it'll be exciting over the next 2 or 3 years, see how you develop. And wish you the best. And obviously for you, Frank, wish you the best for your thing. Thanks very much. Cheers.